to a person waiting to understand the awakening with basic language, so we can get a clear picture of what that process is like. The experience needs to be described or taught about in its reality. Spirituality is not something that is easy to understand right off the bat because there is so many layers to it. The human mind is limited in its understanding of things that it cannot sense or what it is limited in imagining. Becoming awake is arising from a lower conscious state to a higher conscious state, and the process cannot happen only through dreams and visions, or spiritual books, or studying cells, or speaking to magicians. The awakening is a personal suffering journey that must end in triumph. Compassion is difficult right now, so just telling people to have compassion doesn't work. The problem is that our views about who is right and wrong is getting in the way of compassion in healing the divide. So the real key to this is in setting aside our views and setting aside being right. The real key to healing this divide is letting go of what we think we know. It's only when we let go of what we think we know that we can be curious about the other side. Try to understand why they do what they do, why they feel the way they feel. Try to step into their world and get them. It's only when we let go of our knowing and step into not knowing that we can really see their side and feel compassion for them. Once we do that, the compassion can come and the healing can begin. There are millions of stars and galaxies, and for each of them, there is a different story. Every star is unique, and as we look at them from our perspective on Earth, we are reminded that life is full of mystery and truly infinite possibility. And yet, within our earthly lives, it's all too easy to get pulled into the mundane. The challenges and obstacles we face have a way of making us forget how small we are in the vastness of creation. We get tied up in our everyday experience through the stories, challenges, and to-do lists of normal life, forgetting or ignoring how much more is happening in every single moment. But then, at certain times, perhaps while deep in nature, enjoying a breathtaking view, or marveling at the vastness of the night sky, we have a great moment, an awakening of sorts, where we experience a higher level of consciousness. A level of conscious awareness in which we remember, experience, or understand on some level that all beings are connected through a shared consciousness and experience. That while we may appear as being separate, the underlying truth is that we are one with all. Something interrupts our progress. We skip a workout day or two, and then some programming in our brains turns that into a message of how we are not good enough. We can't do it. We should just give up. This stops so many people from making long-term progress. It stops us from simply starting again. This is because most of us don't realize the power and magic of a fresh start. A fresh start is when we get to start anew with a blank slate. It's waking up to a brand new morning with a day we get to use however we want. When we miss a few days of meditation, instead of making that, too, mean that this whole thing is a waste of time, we can look at it as a fresh start. I'm not simply reframing things to be positive. There is a lot of power available to us in a fresh start that we miss out on. I can relate to this fantasy because I've had it myself live a simple life, away from the chaos and burden of this crazy world. What we crave is not really the mountain, but freedom, simplicity, and space, and the liberating feeling of freedom. We think if we simplify and let everything go and get our lives free of the burdens, we'll feel free. But what I have found is that getting rid of everything and living a simple life doesn't sincerely give you that freedom. You will find a way to experience life as burdened and trapped. That's because we create the feeling of burden and trappedness of ourselves. Is not the external circumstance, but something we create with our minds. A teacher a few years ago gifted me with the liberating idea: find the freedom in your current life without having to change a thing. And I found that it's completely possible, and also that I forgot to do it a lot.